Today on Ag Etc., I talk with County Coordinator for Shawnee County Farm Bureau, Keri Graf, on their efforts to support those in need during this pandemic of COVID-19. Then I speak with Mykel Taylor, Ag Economist from K-State, over the impacts of COVID-19 on Kansas land values. Next, meet this week's Young Leader in Ag, Heather Hill, a business development officer for American Ag Credit in Garden City. Next, the Kansas Livestock Association is reminding us we're all in this together. In these difficult times, they share video messages from farmers and ranchers that are small but hold powerful light along the road to leading us back to more normal times. Finally, we hear from Lily Edwards-Callaway, an animal welfare scientist from Colorado State University, on a new lens to animal welfare. It's all coming up on Ag Etc. Stay tuned.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.
Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on three main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people, just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
I'm Britton Rucker, and this is Ag AM in Kansas. One Kansas Farm Bureau has been taking action to support those in need during this COVID-19 outbreak. County Coordinator for Shawnee County Farm Bureau, Keri Graf, is with me now speaking on the project Shawnee County has been working on.
Well, it kind of started out, I had talked to our district manager, Angie Danner, and we felt like we really wanted to do something in our community because, you know, we had our first cases and everything. And so I have a second job that I work for, and I was able to have access to some gloves, Lysol, and the mask. Well, I was afraid when the guy had called and said he had masks available, I was like, how long is this going to take? Well, I was shocked that I could actually get them, and I received them, and I got 1,000 of them. So then that's when the project just really started unraveling. We were trying, so I sent an email out to our board members wanting to know, you know, what essential businesses, is there anybody, you know, just so I could get a spreadsheet going on who we wanted to donate to.
Right.
So we then got all of our stuff. I got bags. I got our paperwork all together. And most of the people were thinking nursing homes because everybody we have talked to said that a lot of the nursing homes, the residents didn't have anything. The staff didn't have anything here in Shawnee County. So, you know, of course, I called a few places, got to Aldersgate, Thornton Place, and they were just in tears. I mean, it was like, because like they said, the staff hadn't, and then they had this local beautician that was coming into their staff, and, you know, she didn't even have anything. They didn't have any protection. But these, you know, when I dropped it off, it was pretty amazing and touching. And of course, I get teary-eyed every time thinking about it. And then my neighbor, she works for Aldersgate. Her and her husband both work for another assisted living, and they hadn't had anything. They haven't been able to get anything. So I delivered the mask to them. We still have about 50 cans of Lysol. And so we decided we'd wait till this week when we start to reopen with other businesses.
Right.
Because we got around, you know, 80 cans of that. And so obviously the masks were the main need. And so I've had several people reach out wanting Lysol for their businesses. Lots of different businesses listed to go deliver just cans of Lysol and gloves this week. So, I'm just glad Shawnee County, and where we took the money was we were supposed to have other events budgeted, like we were going to do the Farm to You, which serves about 1,000 kids. And we pay about $1,000 to that every year. So when that event got canceled, we decided, well, we'll use that money to go back to our community instead of, and so that's and so we're still looking to do the End the Hunger Game. Our county has decided to do the $2,000 to the local pantries here in Shawnee County as well. And then we still have a little money left from another event that we're looking to feed some places. That's what the other thing we were going to do is like maybe feed some hospital workers for lunch or something. So we figure there's going to be so much more need as we even progress even into the year. So, but our whole board, it consists of 12 board members, all are on game of taking that money that we had budgeted and giving it back to the community. So I'm pretty proud of all of them.
That was County Coordinator from Shawnee County Farm Bureau, Keri Graf. This has been Ag AM in Kansas, and I'm Britton Rucker.
Kansans have a new choice for Medicare supplement insurance plans. With Medicare supplement insurance plans from Kansas Farm Bureau, you have access to 4 levels of coverage, affordable rates, and service from an organization that's served Kansans for more than 100 years. For more information on Kansas Farm Bureau Medicare supplement plans, including rates and to apply, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Okay, looks like it's time for our tour. Welcome to the Fort Wallace Museum. Here at the museum, you're going to find some really interesting stuff like our replica stagecoach from the Butterfield Overland Dispatch. We've got facades from the fort buildings. We've got an 1870s flag. There's a plesiosaur that was discovered locally. We've got the Ray pump organ collection. We're a little bitty place with a great big story, and we'd love to have you.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
I'm Britton Rucker, and this is Ag AM in Kansas. For an update on impacts of COVID-19 on Kansas land values, I have with me Mykel Taylor from Kansas State University's Department of Agricultural Economics. Welcome, Mykel.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me be here.
Now, Mykel, many people are interested in current estimates of the value of an average parcel of ground for their county. Mykel, what has been the impacts due to COVID-19 on land values for cropland and pasture?
Well, it's a little tough to exactly evaluate the impacts of COVID-19 on land values for cropland and pasture right now, because it's all happened in what would be the second quarter of the year. And so we need those second quarter land sales in order to really evaluate the impact. But we can make some statements about where we think things are headed just based on the situation at hand. And one of those things is that, we've seen interest rates keep falling. The stock market is a little bit volatile. And we've also got money coming into producers for a stimulus money from the federal government. And so those things all are going to help support the land market as we proceed into this period of uncertainty. I think that we have to recognize that we've had also pretty low net farm income over the past couple of years. It's been supported pretty dramatically by stimulus money and the market facilitation program payments. And so those things are keeping producers able to purchase land. So I see the market being supported by those factors. And that's a good thing, because otherwise we do have some producers out there who are going to need to pay off some debt, and selling parcels of land is one of their best options. And so we don't want to see the supply of land spike too much, because that will put downward pressure on land values. And so just some offsetting effects, but I see the market being pretty stable right now, just because of the money that we've gotten from federal dollars.
Now, is there a difference between non-irrigated versus pasture land for land value?
Yes, there is. Pasture land always runs at a discount relative to non-irrigated cropland. In the publication that we just put out on cropland values in the state of Kansas, what we found was the movement in land values from 2018 to 2019 was a 7% drop for cropland values and a 1% drop for pasture land. So pasture land has held steady, and cropland has lost a few points, about seven percentage points. And those are estimates across the state. Obviously, different parts of the state are going to have different localized land market conditions, and so those numbers don't necessarily reflect every individual market. But what it does reflect is we base those estimates off of actual land sales. So it's the full spectrum of the market, not just auctions, but also private treaty sales that are still considered open market sales. And so we keep those in there, and that gives us a sense of what the full market is doing.
Now, Mykel, any last words of wisdom or information you have to landowners over Kansas land values?
I would just say don't get too nervous about the COVID-19 situation yet. Like I said, I think the stimulus dollars are going to help put off some of the land sales that we might have seen otherwise. And so right now I see the land market being pretty steady, and just keep an eye out on what's going on the commodity markets as we go forward. This fall it'll be interesting to see what happens, but I think that the land market is still pretty steady right now, and hopefully it will stay that way as we go forward.
Well, Mykel, as always, thanks for being on the program.
Oh yes, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
I'm Britton Rucker, and this has been Ag AM in Kansas.
Highways 40, 83, and I-70 come together right here in Oakley. Roads that lead to businesses, to magnificent rock formations, to scenic vistas, to places where legends were made. Roads that lead us home. Discover Oakley, the gateway to Western Kansas.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm, so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well on their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, and we're glad to answer and work with you.
This segment brought to you by Farm Credit Associations of Kansas, lending support to rural America, and by American Ag Service, your DuPont Pioneer dealer.
Welcome back to Ag AM in Kansas. I'm Britton Rucker. For our Young Leaders in Ag segment, I have with me now Heather Hill. Welcome, Heather.
Hi, thank you.
Heather, go into a little bit of your ag background.
Yeah, so I was raised on a diversified crop operation in Southwest Kansas, south of Garden City, about an hour. My parents are also Monsanto seed dealers. So I grew up working on the farm, and then I was a 4-H'er for 14 years. I'm pretty proud of that, and was involved in small communities. It's just my sister and I as far as siblings within the family. And so we were always very involved and very thankful for our family for that opportunity.
Now, you decided to attend Kansas State University in the ag field.
Yes, yeah, that's correct. I graduated in 2009 from South Gray High School in Montezuma, and then I went on to K-State, and I studied agribusiness with an emphasis in finance. And was there for 4 years. And then after my internship, one of my internships, I decided to go back and get my master's in ag economics. So I was there for a little longer than I probably should have been, total of 6 years.
Now go into your internship opportunities that you've had.
Yeah. So my first internship, I did one the summer of my junior year. And I wanted to do something kind of different. And so I packed flour in a flour mill in Hastings, Minnesota with ConAgra Mills. And I really enjoyed that. I was in an ag business field of study, and so that was a little outside the norm for somebody in that field of study, because I think it was technically kind of like an industrial engineering type internship with process flow and everything. But wanted to do something different, wanted to get out of the normal area that I would have been working in. And so I did that. And then the summer after my senior year, I had the opportunity to intern with American Ag Credit, part of the farm credit system, as a credit analyst intern. And so those are my 2 intern opportunities.
And you are actually still with American Ag Credit.
I am, yes. So after my internship with American Ag Credit, I had a great experience. But going into that, it was the summer after my senior year. Going into that, everybody knew that I had planned to go back to finish my master's or start my master's. And I got about a year into that program, and a job opportunity opened up at American Ag Credit. And I really didn't think that those came up very often, just from what I'd kind of heard in the field. And so I took that opportunity, knowing that I still had to finish about 1 year's worth of grad school. And we just kind of did that going distance, just driving back and forth from Wichita to Manhattan, and finished that up. And now fast forward 5 years, and I'm in Western Kansas. I started out working in our Wichita office as a credit analyst, and then into a loan officer position, and then now in Western Kansas as a business development officer.
Yeah. So kind of to wrap up, Heather, what would you tell people or give advice to somebody wanting to be a young leader in the agricultural industry?
Yeah, I think that my first piece of advice would be to, as opportunities come up for a reason, they just don't happen. And so I would tell them to be very attuned to that and do some crazy stuff, do some stuff that stretches your bounds, makes you feel uncomfortable. And then my second piece of advice would be to not be complacent in what we're doing. It's so easy to go to work every day, do your job, come home, and just do what's being asked of you. And I think that it's important for us to not be complacent and recognize that we do have a voice, and we are the next generation, and to feel that for all it's worth. So,
well, a big thank you to Heather for being on our program.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm Britton Rucker, and this has been Ag AM in Kansas.
At Farm Credit, we partner with America's farmers who work hard each and every day to grow the food that we all enjoy. It's not an easy task, but it's an important one. Farm Credit is proud to work with farmers and ranchers, lending support in rural America.
What if we dreamed bigger? What if we looked beyond ourselves to the world outside? With the world population over 7 billion, who will lead us into a sustainable future? Kansas State University's Agronomy department is working to build that brighter future for us all. As a career in high demand, we're working to understand, manage, and protect Earth's vital resources. We help farmers manage and grow their harvest by studying the science behind plants, soils, and the environment, providing a higher standard of living for all, while being good stewards of our natural resources. We work to make the future greener. We work to make the future brighter. Explore a rewarding career and join us in helping feed the world. Discover the possibilities with Kansas State University Agronomy.
Okay, looks like it's time for our tour. Welcome to the Fort Wallace Museum. Here at the museum, you're going to find some really interesting stuff like our replica stagecoach from the Butterfield Overland Dispatch. We've got facades from the fort buildings. We've got an 1870s flag. There's a plesiosaur that was discovered locally. We've got the Ray pump organ collection. We're a little bitty place with a great big story, and we'd love to have you.
This segment brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Nobody saw this coming. What has happened the last couple months have been tough on everybody. These trying times have made it very difficult on us to do business with extremely volatile markets, as well as trying to guess cattle numbers and buyer participation.
These are definitely tough and unusual times that we're facing with no clear end in sight.
With the current COVID-19 situation, we have met challenging times like never before seen in history.
We've gone through difficulties before, we'll go through more difficulties, and it's how we respond to this difficulty and challenges that will predict our success when we come out on the other side.
If this business was easy, everyone would be doing it. These times won't define us. How we live and work through them will.
Get up early every day, go out, take care of our livestock and our land, take care of our families, and know that we still have to produce food for tomorrow.
We've experienced tough times before in the industry. That doesn't stop our dairy from caring for cows, providing for families, and feeding the world.
Through down markets, droughts, and blizzards, we still put our boots on every day to do what we need to do to help feed the world.
We're used to the variable. We're used to the surprises in life. And so we know that we'll overcome this. We'll be stronger and better than we were before.
Farming and ranching has always been an occupation best suited for the tough, resilient, brave, and optimistic. The current challenges make these traits more important than ever.
Farmers and ranchers are salt of the earth. Very persistent, independent people. We will get through this.
I think the thing that we have to remember is that we're not in this alone. We're not lone rangers. When we live in rural Kansas and we're far apart, our natural social distancing makes us feel like we're alone, but we're not alone.
As a livestock industry, we have always met the challenges of tough times and will continue to do that in these trying times by working together.
We're in this together.
We are in this together.
We are all in this together.
We are 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 in this together. Come here.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers, farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
I'm Bob Swartz, and I've devoted the last 43 years to helping Kansans reach their retirement goals and to protect the family farm. At Bob Swartz Financial, we believe everyone should be able to live the retirement they've always dreamed of. Our team of professionals can help you create an efficient strategy using a variety of investment vehicles to help you address your financial needs and your concerns. Bob Swartz Financial values commitment and transparency.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook. Let us help feed your family.
Healthy animals perform best, but the emerging field of animal welfare science suggests their mental health plays a key role that might be measured.
I think when animals are doing well, they're usually doing well in terms of a lot of the performance parameters that we want to look at. I don't think that's the whole picture, though. I think there's a lot of other things when we think about fear, distress, pain, or just even providing a pleasurable experience to an animal, I think is important. I don't know that we as an industry have done a very good job of being able to quantify that, and so I think we can quantify some of those performance indicators really well.
The next step would be calculating effects on profitability for commercial animal agriculture.
What are the economics of animal welfare? So I think it's there, and I think we have some examples of it, but I think we could dig a little deeper to really kind of garner that out of that information.
Digging deeper means looking at an animal's affective state, or what we might call their state of mind.
The science is there. I think we all, in our own experience, can identify that animals experience emotions. Certainly they express them differently than we probably do. But I think what's really important with animal welfare is trying to understand how can we measure that? How can we ask the animal how they're feeling in their environment? And there's definitely experimental ways that we can do that.
Some of that research allows animals to choose environments and activities, and comparing performance and dollar impacts based on those choices.
I think it's a really nice way to think about progress within the animal welfare space.
Growing our industry knowledge of animal welfare could prove profitable, especially in consumer trust. I'm Bob Cervera.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.
In the middle of this current challenge, that mission remains unchanged. Our promise has always been to provide relevant, science-based education and information to help you make decisions to maintain and improve your health, build and sustain businesses, grow your community, steward resources, and raise the next generation of capable, responsible, thoughtful community leaders.